Hi, it's Andy.
Hi, it's Dave, and unfortunately we have no Kirk with us today, but we do have the wonderful Dean from the House of Wyvern,
Hello.
who is joining us today in replacement of Kirk. Not just to replace Kirk, but he's joined us anyway to help us out and do some reactions with us. So please go check out his channel, details of which are in the description down below. Today's band is something, again, it's a style we haven't really covered much on this channel, so I'm looking forward to doing it. We won't be pausing or talking during the video. It's a relatively long track. Well, long in the sense of not a 3.5 minute song, but it ain't like a Doom song. It's not like 15-20 minutes long. It's not that bad. It's only about 8.5 minutes, so we were okay. But we're going to check it out and we'll share our thoughts and feelings at the end. Let's go do it.
Tranquil past a call. See the orb of blue and green. When he spake, the light shone gold.
Okay, there we go. So that was Apocalypse Orchestra, because it did come up and say that at the beginning, so there's no point asking you to guess. The song was The Garden of Earthly Delights. Interesting song title. Gonna throw this to Dean. So I don't know if this is your kind of area, comfort zone of styles.
This is literally my area. This is like
right. You can
my
explain
main
this to us then, because I'm not even sure. I'm one of these guys that likes to be able to kind of put things into certain genres, so I know as a reference point of where to kind of reference them against. And I'm struggling because I'm hearing folk elements, I'm hearing doomy elements in there.
I'm sure you could branch it into some random thing, like, I don't know, like doom folk or something. I don't even know if that's an actual genre, but there's going to be someone who's going to call it. I'd just call it folk metal, honestly.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Go explain a little bit about this. Do you know this band? Have you heard this band before? Or
No, I wish I did, because as a bagpiper and a hurdy-gurdy player, this is right up my alley. So I'm definitely going to be listening a lot more to it. That band. You want me to go into the video?
Oh yeah. While you're talking, go for it. Tell us a little bit more about this track. See, what did you like? Anything that you would have a fan of, or?
I like the productions. It told a wee bit of a story, which is awesome as always, instead of just in a random place just playing an instrument. Again, very good hurdy-gurdy by the looks of it. Very expensive. They go for like $2,000 a piece.
Yeah.
Mine's not worth that much, but the bagpipes are not Scottish. They're not Great Highland. They are European or medieval style, so they sound a bit different to Scottish ones. That's why you've got that kind of more medieval feel coming from the music. The vocal styles is obviously more of a chant rather than singing. Again, that's very folky from like the Baltics or Eastern Europe.
So I mean, listening to that particular track, that sounded like, especially on near the end, there's like 3 or 4 layers of vocals on that to get that chant. So from a live performance, would you expect a band like this to have all band members singing on this? Or?
Well, I'd use an example like Skyforger. They generally, all the band, or at least 2 or 3 of them will be doing that as well, because it's in their music tradition to do so. So it's the way they do folk music is layering it.
So it was almost like with the bagpipes on this particular track, it was the bagpipes were playing what would be the lead guitar part of a non-folk metal, because it was almost playing a lead guitar melody.
Yeah, they tend to play the lead melody. I guess you could do one and have a more heavier tuned one to do backing, but I've never really seen that done. I've ever seen bagpipes used for a lead style.
Right. Unless
they use Red Pipes, which is a company that do electronic bagpipes. But at that point, the thing with red pipes is and electronic ones is you can tune them to literally anything.
Right.
You can literally just use the computer on it and tune them to whatever you want them to be. And some people don't like that.
You're moving away from authentic at that point. A wee bit. Andy, what did you reckon?
Yeah, that was something I've not really ever heard before. That style. I recognise that very unusual instrument, the hurdy-gurdy. You don't see many of them. It's interesting you say about the bagpipes thing. I thought, well, it doesn't sound like traditional bagpipes. I didn't know they originated from other countries and other parts of the world. But I actually like that sound. I think traditional Scottish Highland bagpipes, whatever the term is, would have been too overpowering in that particular song. They really work well in this particular track. Dave, you mentioned doom folk doom. That's exactly what I thought. There's especially the sort of early part of the song, the opening riff. It was slow. It was doom with folk elements, and then it seemed to go into more what I would imagine traditional folk metal, and then the slower doom parts came back. So I really did enjoy that. Another great location for a video. A castle of some sort, and it just looked and was set really, really well. The old man, the old wizard, whatever you want to call him, with his map or game, whatever he was doing, you thought, oh, this is going to go somewhere. Dave will like this. It's a video with a story, but it didn't go anywhere. He just kind of sat there looking at the map on his table and rolling his hexagonal cylindrical dice, and maybe they could have gone further with it with the storyline on that. But again, visually, that looked really good as a character for the video. I say the setting and what the guys were wearing was really good. The music was really interesting as well. So I'm not familiar with folk metal at all. But yeah, it's really, really good. I mean, I'd imagine folk metal from these sort of Scandinavian, Eastern European countries, that they sort of draw upon their traditional folk songs and folklore and sort of traditional sort of fairy stories from their history to sort of bring into the modern day for their songs. That's what I drew from it as well. But yeah, very interesting. Really, I quite enjoyed that, both visually and as a song.
Yeah, they certainly do. It's something that I like doing on my own channel for that sort of thing, because I like to go by country, kind of see what with folk bands, to see, just do a list of each country. I just recently did one for Ukraine, and I was like blown away just by the different types of folk metal you get from different countries. It's like no country sounds the same in folk metal, really. I mean, I guess maybe if you grouped in the Scandinavians, but then again, the Finnish would sound different anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've seemed to have come across with folk metal, is they do tap into their national sound. But I also think the same with doom bands. You hear doom bands, you hear a UK doom band doesn't sound like a sort of a European some of the European mainland doom bands. There's definitely something about our heritage. It could be our tone of voice. I don't know what it is, but I do find that the English doom bands do sound different to some of, like, let's say, the Scandinavian ones. But
I really want a Welsh folk metal band.
Welsh folk metal
sung in Welsh. I would kill for that. It would be amazing.
That could be interesting. There probably is one, but we just don't know about it on the channel yet.
Not as far as I know.
You still got to hunt for it. But so this is, obviously, I said Apocalypse Orchestra. They're from Sweden. They've been going since 2013. They are officially classed as doom, folk, medieval metal. Is the genres they put themselves under. So we kind of pretty much covered it all off. From, you said, the medieval bagpipes, we've got the doom, we've got the folk. I was surprised at how heavy the guitar sounds was. I was looking at going, oh, they must be on 7 strings, and I'm looking at it going, you sure that was a 6 string he was playing? Because I don't know how they got that low end tone. I was thinking maybe an 8 string at one point, because it just sounded, just the resonation of that, the weightiness of that guitar tone was amazing, and the snare.
It wasn't picking up the hurdy-gurdy, because the gurdy also sounds like a pipe. It sounds like a.
It might be, but obviously because we never saw that really that often, only really near the beginning, so I didn't think that it was playing further into the song. And one of the other things I pick up a lot of these bands is the sound of the drum kit. I thought the drum kit sounded awesome. It had a great snare sound on this particular track, and normally it's either too clicky or it doesn't have not enough weight to it. The kick pad on the kick drum usually sounds a little bit off, but this actually sounded a great kit. I love the location. It worked perfectly, and it also tied in with the old man. I was trying to think of the song title, The Garden of Earthly Delights, which makes me think of Garden of Eden, is what I kind of started thinking of, because then you saw the goat's head at 2 points, once in red and once at black at the end. So are we talking about sin, temptation? And that's why I started thinking it might be going down that route. And then what's the wizards do? I don't know what you would refer to him as, but old geezer playing with dice, basically. But yeah, I kind of would have liked to. I saw rune symbols, so I'm kind of going. There's obviously something going on there, but it didn't elaborate and tie the story in enough to make us understand it. So what you would then have to do is read the lyrics to make it to then go, right, oh, that's what that means in the video. Which I think if you have to do that, then the video hasn't done enough to take you on that journey. And they had 8 minutes and 39 seconds to explain their story to us, and I don't think the video did. It looked amazing though. I thought the video looked great. I loved the candles. I was even looking at the end to see if they were real candles or electric candles at the end, because I'm thinking, with him sitting there doing this, they should be flickering a lot more. They should be moving. He's got so many candles around him. How did they not go out with him moving around? But actually, I did, as the camera panned around, I was watching, there's a few of them did flicker, and I'm like, okay, I think they're real. I
real. I would never have even noticed that.
No.
But I would be like, well, if you've got to do it for authenticity. If he'd done the electric candles, I'd have been pissed. But I think he did a real one, so I think that's good.
About the song length, 8.5 minutes. There's one point where I think would have been a perfect stop. You know, a couple of minutes to go. I knew the song was going to end because we've got the timeline down the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
But the last couple of minutes seemed a bit superfluous. You know, there seemed like a natural end to the song. Then they brought it back, and then there was an abrupt ending. So
You mean where it went clean, where they basically just went to the vocal bit?
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, okay, as soon as it's going to come back in. And one quick question I have for you, Andy, is would you have preferred this if it had heavier, gruffer vocals on it versus the chant vocals?
if you'd taken away, the sort of medieval instruments, the sort of instruments of yesteryear, and remove the folk elements, yeah, it sounded really good as a sort of
Doom track.
as a Doom track, yeah. But I mean, I liked it. The vocals work well. That's the style. The chanting, you mentioned some different layers. So yeah, that's folk metal style, and it worked well with the slower passages of the music. But yeah, you sort of strip it down and reconstruct it. You've got an awesome Doom track in there as well.
I think it's probably a good crossover track for Doom metal people wanting to get into folk metal. It's a good one to give them that to kind of bridge them across.
I'm pretty sure there is folk Doom, but there's certainly folk black. I might be right. I might be wrong on that. So there is certainly crossovers.
Very interesting. There we go. So that was Apocalypse Orchestra and the Garden of Earthly Delights. Now, if you like this video, please do like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on another video sometime very soon. Take care.